Hey, it's James, unofficial mayor of Cowboy Country. I'm so glad to be with you. Thank you for all the new subscribers. We're over 450, so please share with your family and friends that like sports. Love to get over 500 before the season begins. So today is a special day because after making the trip to South Carolina and seeing Clemson and Georgia, um, and then considering the trip I made in May with all the North Carolina schools, and I feel like I need to revisit and redo my top 10. Now, understand these are stadiums above 50,000 that I have personally seen. We will redo the smaller stadium list later this week. So, honorable mention, Iowa. They didn't crack the top 10 because one side looks really amazing and the other side not so much. But I love what they do when the fans turn and wave to the kids at the Children's Hospital. I just think that's a class act. I just love what they do with that. TCU looks amazing. I just think they need to do something. They need more parking. Same with Kansas State. I love the limestone. I love the new indoor practice facility. It's just this top 10 is so tough. I would say they need more chairbacks for sure. Georgia Stadium looks phenomenal. I love the modern look of it. I love the fact that they were working on it even when I was there, but the parking situation is just bad. I know there's a parking garage a couple blocks away, but you're talking over 90,000 people. They need another parking garage near that stadium. Arkansas, I love what they did with the end zones, but in between, it's kind of, But that huge Arkansas logo on the back of the video board looks really cool, especially at night. All right, so here are my top 10, and I know somebody's going to be offended, that's an Oklahoma State fan, because at number 10 I have OU. You're like, well, why the heck would you put the Sooners on there? Remember, I'm talking about the stadium. I'm talking about the experience of going to the stadium. The concessions were fantastic. When you walk through the concession area, there's pictures of older players all over the place. It's literally like you're going to a museum. And I was in an upper deck seat last year, and I had a chairback seat with a cup holder. So I thought that was great. OU needs to work on their parking situation. However, you can park by Lloyd Noble, and I believe they shuttle people over to the stadium. So kudos to them for that. Number 9 is Texas. They have a much better parking situation. Oh, by the way, Texas and OU both have a memorial for veterans, so I have to give them bonus points for that. Texas has multiple parking garages. What I learned by going to Texas, and if you go to Texas, if you go to a football game, park over by the baseball field. There's a parking garage over there, and then walk across the highway on the bridge. You should be able to find a parking spot, no problem. But the concessions at Texas were amazing. The smell of barbecue was everywhere, and it was just absolutely phenomenal. And I love what they did with the end zone with a Longhorn built into the seats. I just thought that was super cool. I put Florida at number 8. I think the palm trees definitely helped. I love the orange. There was a decent amount of chairback seats, which is why I put them ahead of Texas. And they are going to do construction and most likely put suites on the opposite side of where they currently have club and suite seats. But the environment and being in Florida and having all the palm trees around it definitely helped as well. Plus, when I filmed Florida, I was able to at least look at the concession stands, and they had a lot of good choices. Number 7, Texas A&M. If you love brick and mortar, this is your stadium because it's absolutely gorgeous. Great atmosphere. Love the whole tradition with the 12th man. It's absolutely amazing. I have to ding them just parking. I only saw one parking garage near the stadium. If you have over 100,000, you're going to need more than one parking garage. Texas Tech is number 6. Wow, the Spanish architecture is absolutely phenomenal. I love what they're going to do in the end zone with the construction. I hope to, I don't know, the next time I'm going to get to go to Lubbock. But the good thing is I can keep track of it with the webcam. And I love the big, huge parking garage across the street. So, and they also have amazing concessions. Even at their baseball stadium, they had great concessions. Unfortunately, when I went, Oklahoma State got throttled like 11-1. But I was in the stands eating brisket nachos and shoving cheese and brisket in my face. So it kind of lessened the pain of losing. And I was like, oh man, we're losing. You know. So number 5, North Carolina. They made my top 5, not because of the outside. The outside's kind of eh. The inside of their stadium is fantastic. The vast majority of the seats are all chairback. It's got that powder blue, that North Carolina blue color to it. It looks phenomenal. Decent concessions, but the amount of chairbacks puts North Carolina in the top 5. I think that's the direction that a lot of stadiums are going in, is they're realizing the fans want a real chairback seat. They don't want to sit on a bench that could be really hot in September, or it could be really cold in November and December. Number 4, Clemson. I struggled with this one between them and North Carolina, but they got the paw print everywhere. And I think the one thing that put Clemson above North Carolina was the indoor practice facility. It was not just the brick, but the seats. They've got in the upper deck where it says Clemson in the seats itself. I just think that's super cool, and I loved it. And I love the amount of parking that they have. It just looks really good. I know some people might think that this is a homer pick, but number 3, I still have Oklahoma State. Boone Pickens Stadium is very high on my list because they have concessions on the 100 level and on the 200 level. They have lots of concessions. They have restaurants all over Stillwater can sell food inside of the stadium, and it's absolutely phenomenal. Plus, with the new remodeling on the inside, they've added chairbacks. They're going to do that the same on the I believe on the south side next year after the season's over. But the brick, the glass, it's absolutely phenomenal. The one thing that I have to ding OSU, Boone Pickens Stadium, is the parking situation. They have one parking garage where the bus station is. They have another parking garage over by the student union, but they need a better parking situation. They need to do something. Fortunately, as a fan, I know that there are churches available to where you could park. If you Google the either Hillcrest Baptist, which is on Washington, or Salem Lutheran, or First Christian Church, if you're willing to walk, you could park at First Presbyterian. There's also Church of Christ on Duck and McElroy. So if you're looking for good parking at Boone Pickens Stadium, you can park at one of those churches, and the money's going to go to a good cause. So, number 2, Nebraska. I have never seen a stadium that has as much, as far as they've got a lot of brick and a lot of concrete, and it just goes together really well. And I'm putting Nebraska at number 2 just because of it's very late. The new football operations building that's coming. That's going to look absolutely phenomenal. I was there last January. It's my most watched video. It's just absolutely fantastic. Do you know what I forgot to put on the honorable mention? Ohio State. Sorry, Buckeye fans. And I saw that stadium a long time ago. The one thing that I have to ding them for is just, it looks really good, but there's this kind of, you can kind of tell where the old stadium was, and you can tell where they built around it, and it doesn't quite match. I think the Horseshoe is an amazing stadium, but there's just something about it, if you look at it, where like the new part and the old part, they don't quite match. I don't know, really all they need to do is like sandblast the older part to where it matches it's like different shades of gray. It's just weird. Anyway, number 1. I still have Florida State at number 1. The brick, it's, if you love bricks, brick and mortar, there's no better than Florida State. I love the statue of the Warrior. I love how they have different parts of that kind of extend off of the stadium, and they use that for different things throughout the school year. I know they have part that is like for academic support for the athletes, and then there's another part that's for like I believe their alumni association. But the one thing obviously Florida State has going for it that puts it above Boone Pickens Stadium is the fact that the stadium goes all the way around. With Boone Pickens Stadium, obviously you have Gallagher-Iba right next to it, and they're literally interconnected with each other. So Florida State's an amazing stadium, and they're about to fix it up, and my understanding is that they're going to add chairbacks, and they're going to slightly decrease the capacity, but I think that's a really good move. People, if you're going to spend a couple $100 just to go to a football game, you want to sit in a comfortable seat. So anyway, that's my list. I'm going to put out later this week, I'll put out another list for the stadiums below 50,000. It didn't dawn on me that there's one in the Big 12 that's a little bit less than 50,000 that honestly should be number 1 on that list. So when I read you the list, Duke will not be number 1 on it, but Duke looks really good, and I'll show you a picture of it. It's a lot better in person. It gets a bad, Wallace Way gets a bad rap, but Duke's actually a really good looking stadium. I've seen it in person, and I really, really liked it. So if you are new to the channel, please hit like and subscribe. Thank you for all the new subscribers. If you like sports, tell people about this channel. There's a good chance that I have done that person's favorite stadium. I've been as far west as Utah, and I've been obviously as far east as the Carolinas. Been as far north as Minnesota. Minnesota will probably be on that list of small stadiums, and obviously as far south as Texas and TCU. So, from the bottom of my heart, I want to say thank you for watching, and as always, go Pokes. Bye.